Cathy, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Tom, Sybil, Arsenio, and congratulations to you, Roland, and thank you so much for calling me Saturday night to confirm that we had lost Baba, because I had just talked with Ferdy, his nephew, who had flown in several times during the week of his hospitalization, right after they had moved him to intensive care. And so I had just settled in for the evening. I'm recovering from spinal surgery and had just settled in, and Roland called, and I was like, no, I just talked to them within an hour. But you were so correct, and I thank you because, once again, it's testimony to what Dick Gregory used to say to me, which was, if you want to know what's going on in Black America, you got to talk to somebody in your company, and you are so correct. He loved News One. Now, he was so proud when he knew I told him that Hercules Joyner and I had talked about the merger of Reach and Radio One. He was so proud and bragged about the fact that here two major black companies were coming together to better service and be of service to the black community. He loved us. He appreciated the work we were doing to keep our community informed. And most importantly, we were at Dick Gregory's home base. He knew at any time he could be on the internet, he could be on radio, he could be on television. He could continue to spread his powerful message of liberation for our community.
Cathy, this is a man who absolutely believed in black media.
Yes.
He to this day, to his death, he bought black newspapers, he read them,
Right.
He spent
That's right.
thousands on media. He was a media consumer.
Yep, absolutely. Many years ago when Dick was, I called him my permanent guest, Tom. I'm like you. I was like, no, the name of the show is the Cathy Hughes Morning Show, Dick, and although you're here every morning, 5 days every week, okay, you're my permanent guest, not my co-host. He and I discovered a story that was running in a San Francisco newspaper, and we had it reprinted in a local black newspaper, and within hours, 10,000 copies of that newspaper were sold, and we asked people to contribute $1 a piece, and this black newspaper was on the verge of going out of business. And he said, baby, not only can we get this story out, but baby, we can save this black newspaper because, we're losing black-owned media left and right. It's just such a consumer of news and information, with his preference always being to keep black-owned media alive and expanding and thriving.
I recall we were in Harlem after a TV1 event at the apartment of Bernard Bell's aunt, and Dick Gregory was telling us one of his stories, one of his assessments of the federal government. Many people said Dick was a conspiracy theorist. He was always very well aware of the federal government and our role in foreign affairs. This was not somebody who just told jokes. He was very learned when it came to world history in this country.
One of the things, Roland, that I have to honestly say that you're cut from that same boat of cloth. You not only have this incredible capacity for the absorption of information, as did Dick Gregory, but you have the ability to turn it into layman's terms and help people understand what, in fact, is right in front of them. He always used to say, hide it in plain sight. Nobody will ever see it. You have that same incredible talent. And both of you also, I really mean that quite seriously, Roland. As I said my prayer Saturday night after I had spoken to you, I said, thank you, God, for sending Dick's replacement while Dick was still alive to identify. Dick and I used to talk about you all of the time. That's a special talent, to be able to help people understand what's going on. It's one thing to report the news. It's another thing to explain it so that everybody, Joe Jones standing on the corner in any major urban ghetto in this country, all the way to President Barack Obama can understand what you're saying needs to be done and is being done. And he had this ability that you two have. The thing that both of you have also is that you have purpose-driven lives. It's quite clear that you all understood at an early age what your purpose was. I'm able to identify that because I, too, understood that I was to be of assistance to those of you who have been sent as messengers to be of assistance to our people. Our people have had such a challenging all the way from having the greatest kingdoms in Africa that have ever existed on this planet, all the way up to our enslavement here in America. And these challenges have to be understood and reported and correctly diagnosed, and it has to be disseminated to the masses. And Dick Gregory knew, as a kid even, he used to talk to me about when he would have visions of greatness as a child. And growing up in a St. Louis ghetto, people would laugh at him. They would say, you've got delusions of grandeur going on. Dick never allowed that to detour him. He never allowed millions of dollars. At a time when black folks were trying to get thousands of dollars, Dick turned his back on millions of dollars.
Yes,
because
he did.
He understood his commitment to black folks was made more important. I love the fact that you read the entire tribute that Christian wrote to his daddy on the internet. It was so reflective of how all of them believed in their daddy, how Lillian spent, decade after decade after decade as his wife, rearing his children by herself. Okay, sometimes not having money to go to the grocery store because he had taken their money to help bail someone out of jail.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
He helped them understand that they too had to sacrifice and be committed to the liberation and the future of black people, not to their selfish self. And God bless the entire Gregory family. Oh my God, how appropriate that this is the day of the eclipse, because many of us believe that although your body deteriorates and dies, your spirit doesn't leave for a certain amount of period. And I think that when this eclipse occurs, that is Dick Gregory ascending into heaven, very much as the biblical story of Jesus is ascending.
I think you're absolutely right, Ms. H. I think you're absolutely right.